All right, welcome to the David McMullen Gymnasium, everybody. Tonight's matchup features the Harvey High Senior Lady Lakers versus the Senior High Hampton Lady Huskies. Lakers have jumped out to an early 2-0 start. Ava Grieve at the serve. I'm your host, Mike Fletcher. We've also got Joe and Charlie Gregory in the booth. Mr. White will also be joining us later as I swap out with him probably in the second set. As the Huskies have a nice hit there. Natalie Bernard puts that one into the net. Huskies trailing 1-2. Back to serve, number 12, Coughlin. Nice up by Lauren Haley. This is sent over by Grieve. Oh, but she completely whiffs. Bit of a shocking mistake there from Grieve. You wouldn't expect that. We're all square at 2-2. She's a little embarrassed and laughing at herself on that one. You notice both teams' benches standing up. I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but you'll love to see the cheering and the energy. Haley Messer can't handle that serve. Huskies lead 3-2. This is number 12, Coughlin, serving again. Nice overhand serve, lots of power, kept alive by Grieve. Bernard sends it over. Here's outside to Petra. Petra, too much power on that one. Lakers tie it up 3-3. Here's number 12, Maddie Chisholm. The serve for the Lakers. Serve short. Huskies lead 4-3. Here's Petra to serve. She's going to go with a little jump serve. Short into the net. 4-4. Our minor officials this game, Maddie Fraser-Cole and Alice Vautour on the sheet / flip chart by the looks of it, and Ethan Davidson on the flip chart. Natalie Bernard to serve. Huskies can't handle it. That's number 3, Mackenzie. She sends it out wide. 5-4 lead for the Lakers now. As both teams' benches continue to stand. It looks like they're going to stand this entire match. Natalie Bernard to serve. Low into the net. Tied at 5. Also on the Lakers starting lineup, in the front row, we've got Riley DeMerchant, Lauren Haley, Lauren Peasy, and Haley Messer in there as a libero. There's Peasy, tries to volley it over, bumped into her own teammate, resulting in a double touch there. Huskies lead 6-5. Serve here from number 14, Locke. Actually, I don't have her name on the sheet. A little bit of confusion here over where each player should be. They're back where they started now. Nice serve, reception by Grieve. Sent over by Lauren Haley. Bump at the net. There's number 13, Hicks. Nice hit. Huskies take it. 8-5 lead. Number 14 back to serve. For the Huskies. Up from Grieve to Peasy. Volleyed over by Grieve. That's sent to the back row. Big swing from Petra. Cannot connect, though. 6-8 game. Lauren Peasy to serve now. Number 8. Played by the libero, number 1, Locke. Chisholm to Riley DeMerchant. Outside hit by McKenzie. Haley can't handle it. Huskies lead 9-6. Here's number 2, Somerville to serve. And that's off the net, just wide. Good eye there from Ava Grieve. Let that one go. 7-9. Lakers trailing. Here's Haley to serve. Outside hit from McKenzie. Nice up by Peasy. Grieve, her first hit of the match. Off the block, kept alive. Nice play by Locke. DeMerchant deep. There's Locke in that libero position. Messer to Chisholm. DeMerchant, swing from the middle, way wide. Lakers trailing 10-7. Laker coaches Tracy Messer, Tammy DeMerchant have a look at the scoreboard, possibly contemplating the timeout soon. Here's McKenzie to serve. Lauren Haley, nice up. Grieve sends it deep. Locke received it, but she sent it straight up in the air. None of her teammates could get there in time. Point for the Lakers, 8-10. Serve from DeMerchant. Here's Chisholm outside to Grieve. Big swing, cross court. Oh, just wide. As our ref, John Hamilton, makes that call correctly. Huskies lead 11-8. Hamilton's up high on the ladder, and Stefan Nadeau down low on the court. Ooh, that serve from Hicks. Little short. Ava Grieve to serve now for the Lakers as they trail 9-11. Serve is long. (12-9). Huskies in front. Number 12, Coughlin to serve for the Huskies. Overhand serve. Hard line drive. That's an ace. Nice power behind that serve. Lakers couldn't handle it. 13-9. Coach Messer telling Lauren Haley to slide over a little bit. Anticipating a hard serve. That's long. Haley Messer wisely ducked under it and let it go. Lakers trail 10-13. Maddie Chisholm to serve. Coughlin. That's out to Petra. Here's Chisholm now. Natalie Bernard, nice swing. Good up by the Huskies. And that's going to be called for an illegal touch. Hitting one hand, then the other, so that's 2 hits. When you make that set, you got to hit it simultaneously with both hands, or that's going to be the call. You'll see that call a little more strictly in the senior match versus the junior match, as Maddie Chisholm sends that one into the net. 14-11 lead for the Huskies. Huskies jumped out early, built up a 3 or 4 point lead, and it's pretty much been back and forth since. Here's Petra the serve. Jump serve. Good attempt from Lauren Haley, but she can't quite get to it. 15-11. Petra way back to the wall here. Nice toss. Good serve. And Messer can't handle it. 16-11. If Petra's serve is in and over the net, it's going to be tough to handle. Nice up from Grieve. Set to Peasy off the net. And that's a point for the Lakers. They trail 12-16. Peasy using the net to her advantage. Natalie Bernard to serve now. Up by Petra. Lock. Oh, almost hits the rafters. Here's Chisholm to set outside to Peasy. Nice hit right in the middle of the court. Huskies have no one to cover that hole. 13-16. Good energy from both teams right now. Lots of support from the benches. Players very vocal. Entertaining match so far. Bernard. There's Locke now. Going to get bumped over by Mackenzie. Grieve to Chisholm. Grieve from the back row. Cannot jump as a result. But it works as Mackenzie crashes into the net. Thankfully, we've got some padding on it there. Point for the Lakers, 14-16. Here's Bernard to serve now. Trailing by 2. Nice reception there by Mackenzie. Play at the net by number 14. Peasy just barely over. Here's Locke. Peacher, nice hit. Oh, in, but that's off the antenna. Hits the antenna, the point is automatically over. So the point's going to go to the Lakers, 15-16. Lakers clawing their way back from a 5-point hole, or 4-point hole. Bernard to serve, that's deep. Pass by Locke. Over to Coughlin. Play at the net by number 14. Lakers are on the net, number 13, Riley DeMerchant, I think. Gets caught by a ref, Stéphane Nadeau. 16-15. Fourteen back to serve. Fortunately, we don't have her name on the score sheet. That's going to be called an illegal touch on Chisholm. 2 hits. He was trying to set it, and it didn't go the direction it was supposed to, so they're going to call that pretty much every time. Now we're at 18-15. I guess that point was worth 2. That serve is long. Point Lakers, 16-18. Lauren Peasy the serve, does her little toe tap. There's Locke, the reception. Mackenzie volleys it over. Here's Chisholm. Outside to Grieve, big swing off the block. Nice dig by Locke. She's doing a great job covering in that back row from that libero position. Nice tip from Chisholm. Sent over by Coughlin. Here's Chisholm outside to Grieve. Ooh, almost brushes the net, but doesn't. Oh, there's a volley attempt. Big time miss hit from Coughlin. That's automatically going to get called for 2 hits. See the way the ball spun off. Usually when you volley it or set it, you don't want to see that ball spin at all. That's the sign of a good set. Here's Peasy now, down 1, 17-18. And a back and forth set. Chisholm to DeMerchant. Smartly just plays the bump over. Oh, that's going to be off the net, kept alive. That's 4 hits. Lakers did their best to get it over. 19-17, Huskies in front. Serve for Mackenzie. Here's Haley out to Grieve. Bump in the corner, just a bit outside. 20-17. Mackenzie the serve. There's Chisholm, high ball. Free ball now as Haley sends it deep. There's Locke. Sent over by Hicks. Here's Chisholm to Grieve, big swing. That's off of blocks. Ball still alive. Tipped at the net. Point for the Huskies. Ball got a little bit wet there, apparently. I think that might have been some sweat, perhaps. Maybe there was some water spilled on that jersey, who knows? Huskies lead 21-17 now. Serves in. Tipped over by Haley. There's the set from Coughlin. Nice hit from McKenzie outside. Grieve volleys it back over. Coughlin the set. Hicks, nice block at the net. Was not a block, did not go over. Huskies get called for 4 hits. Lakers trailing 18-21. Lauren Haley to serve. Huskies receive it. Nice swing there from Hicks. Ball sent over by Demerson. Oh, too low. Unfortunate for the Lakers there. They trailed 22-18. Huskies just 3 points away from the first set. Number 3, McKenzie back to serve. Nice up from Lauren Haley. Grieve sends it to Demerchant. Oh, a little bit of confusion there on the Huskies. Surprised that Coughlin didn't take that ball. I think she was in the setter's position. 19-22. Served by Demerchant. Oh, low into the net. Couple miscues there from Demerchant. Uncharacteristic of her. 23-19, 2 points for the set. That's served short. Bumped right back over by Grieve. Catches the Huskies off guard. They were expecting 3 hits, not 1. Works the Lakers' advantage, 20-23. Ava Grieve to serve. 5 points from the set. Oh, off the net. Bumped over. Here's Chisholm. Natalie Bernard, big hit. Oh, too much power. That's long. 24-20. Possible set point here for the Huskies. It's number 12, Coughlin, back to serve. Coughlin, oh, hard hit. That's going over. And a hit from number 14 on the Huskies. Ends the first set. Huskies win it 25-20. Nice first set from both sides. I'm going to step aside now. Mr. White's going to take over play-by-play duties. And in between sets, we're going to pass it to the gorgeous Gregory brothers for their inter-set report.
Pretty good. The girls have been doing tremendous on the receiving end, but Hampton with those hard serves, just rifling it over. Like, you watch the Lakers receiving, usually you see them push up with their legs and maybe a little bit movement with arms to get that ball up. They don't need to come in off these serves and spikes. Their arms are going way back because Hampton's a strong serving team, and they're letting Harvey know that we're coming out to win this game. And you know us Harvey Lakers, we ain't no quitters, so it's going to be a very good game by the looks of it.
Very interesting. The energy coming into this game tonight. Everyone's standing up, yelling as loud as they can, trying to boost the morale to their team. Trying to win this game. It's going to be very interesting throughout the game.
It really is, Charlie. We want to thank the minor officials for keeping this game going, and also the officials for reffing and making this game work. And thank you to our next crew, Michael Fletcher and David White with the commentary, and Austin Jameson and Logan Wall, the 2 main tech guys running the camera and making sure all of this is possible for us. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Alrighty, folks. Well, we'll pass you along to the commentators.
Thank you very much, Joe. So we're back here ready to take the second set of this score. Thanks to Michael Fletcher, who is guiding us through that first one. As we're off to a good start here. That is played by Blackney of the Huskies, and that is misfired. So the Lakers strike first. If you're just joining us, Harvey did drop the first set to the Huskies by a score of 20-25. It was kept relatively close, but the Huskies pulled away at just the right time. Here's the hit. That's saved by Messer in the lib position. Natalie Bernard going for a hit, but played nicely by Steves. Bernard again at the front of the net. That is going to score. And Lakers are out to a 2-0 lead now. As we get the camera adjusted, get you looking in the right direction. Here's Ava Grieve with her first service this second set. Fielded by Blackney, set up by Coughlin. There's Messer again. If you were here in the first set, you heard Mike Fletcher noticing the both libs wearing number 1, really laying out in the back row, keeping balls alive. We've had a lot of entertaining rallies so far this evening, and that's big thanks to both of them. There's Haley Messer, get it to Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard going for a hit, saved again by the lib. That's Locke for the Huskies. Here's Messer, Chisholm with the setup. Natalie Bernard looking for the hit. Contact made by Coughlin. Locke sent over up front, but Alice McDonald's there to save it. Third hit by the Lakers falls to their side. Natalie Bernard knew as soon as she hit that, the angle wasn't going to play in her favor. Lakers had to let that go, so we are at 2-2. And I guess we might have the answer to what's going on here. Why the girls are standing, if you've been keeping an eye on the background. Both teams' rosters kind of standing at the edge of the bench. And, well, I spoke too soon. We don't have an answer. It's just, it's deliberate. The referees are keeping them back. Nice play. Natalie Bernard picking the back corner. Gets that well out of reach of any Hampton defenders and gives the Lakers a lead. It's Madison Chisholm back to serve, wearing number 12. 3-2, Lakers lead here in the early going. Chisholm with the serve. Fielded low by Locke, can't quite get under that. Nice work by Chisholm as she goes down for another. Here's Chisholm again, fielded by Locke nicely, this time to Coughlin. Setting up Moore for a cross-court hit, but that goes out of bounds. Lakers celebrate the point as they build a 3-point lead. Score is 5-2. Head referee John Hamilton getting the girls in position. Watched from the other side by Stéphane Nadeau. If you were watching the junior girls game earlier, you'll notice they've changed positions. Hannah Mason keeps that alive for the Lakers. Nicely done. Moore sends it over. Ava Grieve passing up to Madison Chisholm. Natalie Bernard going for the hit, and again, picking that back corner. I think Hampton keeps assuming those are going to go out, but Natalie, I guess she must be putting a lot of topspin on that because those are dropping very neatly, well inside the red lines. Here's Maddie Chisholm going for her 4th consecutive point. Nice run by Chisholm here in the early going. We see a lot of her up front in the setter's position, but showing she is dangerous from the server's line as well. 7-2 is your score in favor of the home side. Here's Chisholm again. It's played by the Huskies. Falls at the net front on their own side, though. Steves for the visitors. Couldn't quite get that over. So Chisholm back to serve again. There's the ball by Chisholm. That'll catch the top of the net, though, and ends the run at 5 points scored. It's our longest run of the second set, certainly. And Steves for the Huskies is back to serve now. Nice service by Steves. That's fielded by Messer. Chisholm setting again. Natalie Bernard hits that over. Locke to Blackney, and hit in the back by Blackney, but again, Haley Messer is there. Hannah Mason looking cross court. A little too much power on that one as it falls outside the red lines. And so the Huskies will hang on to the score. Here's Steves. Hannah Mason with the hit. This one's fielded by Locke. Coughlin puts it up. Blackney with the hit. I'm not sure if she intended to send that a bit shorter side, but either way, kind of caught the Lakers out of position. Here's Steves now on a bit of a run of her own. Looking for a third consecutive. Not if Ava Grieve and Maddie Chisholm has anything to say about it. Natalie Bernard with the hit. There's Coughlin. Stevens, not to be confused with Steve. Stevens, wearing number 9, sends that just over the net. As the Huskies have started to close this lead, they've pulled to within 2. Here's Steves again. Alice McDonald's going to pass that over to Maddie Chisholm. Ava Grieve sends it over on the third hit, back to Steves. Here's Coughlin setting it up for Moore. Greaves with a long pass. Alice McDonald puts it up. Girls scrambling there as they can't quite get there in time. So 8-7 is the score now, as Steves looks to tie things up. Was handed a 5-point deficit when the ball came to her. 4-point, check that. No, 5-point, never mind. And she scored 4. Here's Hannah Mason with a hit. Saves that, though. It was blocked by Hampton, but good heads-up play by Mason, keeping it alive. Turned what looked like a nice rejected point from the Huskies into a turnover. And points for the Lakers. Good heads-up play by Mason there, not giving up on the hit after it was blocked, keeping it alive and sending it back to her teammates, who ultimately scored the point. Here's Natalie Bernard, her team up by 2. That's fielded by Steves. Coughlin with the set. Hit by Blackney. Gets it over the first contact by the defense and sends it up as Bernard heads to the bench and Haley Messer will check in that lib position. Here's Blackney with the serve. Eagle Eye referee John Hamilton. Don't know how he makes those calls from up there. Checking out all the positions, making sure everyone's in the right order. Nice hit by Stevens. That gets by the outstretched Messer. Huskies are going to tie it up now as Blackney heads back to serve again. No, keep a closer eye. She may be left-handed. Nope. That's a right. Never mind. Just coming at it from the left-hand side of the court, which sometimes throws opposing teams off. Here's Coughlin getting it to Moore. Saved by Messer. Chisholm now looking for Hannah Mason with a nice hit. Steves gets that in the back, though. Coughlin to Moore for a hit. Haley Messer is there. Maddie Chisholm setting up Riley DeMerchant looking for the back. That played high by Blackney, just brushes the rafters. So the Lakers come away with the point after a nice extended rally. Both teams providing some great plays for us so far. Here's Hannah Mason back to serve. Nice serve by Mason. Fielded by Locke. Moore tried to kick that up. That came at her at a low angle. Made contact, but couldn't quite direct it up. Mason with a nice low serve. We'll see if she can do it again. Another solid serve by Mason. This time Locke puts it up. Misplayed by the Huskies. They send that back when they wanted to send it forward. So Mason's going to get another one. These are tough serves to handle. So they come at you with speed and right in that sweet spot between a playable bump and a playable volley. Blackney puts this one up. Gets it to Steves. Third hit by Coughlin. Sends it over. Alice McDonald makes contact but can't quite get as far under it as she wants. Sends it forward under the net. And so it will be the Huskies coming away with the point. Big thanks to Joe Gregory keeping that scoreboard up to date, as well as providing some between the sets insight between him and his brother Charlie. We'll thank Logan Wall and Austin Jameson again, who are working tech tonight, as well as Ashton Little and Mike Fletcher, who were part of the team earlier this evening. If you're just joining us, this is the second part of a doubleheader. The junior Lakers and Huskies faced off earlier in the evening. Lakers with 7 players took 4 of 5 sets. Senior girls would love to replicate that. They've given up 1, but they lead so far in number 2. Here's Coughlin. Looking for more, but she won't get the chance. There's a double hit. Not quite sure who the guilty party was, but they were wearing black and white. And they weren't Haley Messer. So Lakers will take the point there, 13-11. Nice serve by Alice McDonald. That's fielded by Steve. Coughlin puts it up. Hit from Stevens is a little too close to the side of the net. Good call by head referee John Hamilton, supported from the other side by his opposite number, Stefan Nadeau. Here's Locke on the second hit. That's sent over by Steves, I believe. Ava Grieve pushes that over. Nice work by Grieve. There's a lift there as Burho at the net had to get very low to get hands under that, and must have been guilty of a lift at some point. Here's Alice McDonald going again. Another nice low serve. Fielded well by Steves, though. There's Stevens who puts it over. Hannah Mason on the second hit. Haley Messer tries to send it over. Finds the back of Mason's head. Not quite what she was looking for. So it is the Huskies who get the point. Lakers up by 3. The first set was pretty close right up until the end, though, so I don't think any leads are going to be safe tonight. Nice service by Coughlin. That's fielded by Messer. Chisholm gets it over to Ava Grieve. Nice placement by Grieve. That was right on the line. I don't know if that was coming too fast for Hampton to react or if they thought that was going out. But either way, there's a point for the good guys. Here's Riley DeMerchant with a nice service. It's fielded over to Coughlin. Blocked at the front of the net by Natalie Bernard. Burrow tried to send that over, but Bernard got up higher. Lakers up to a 5-point lead now. Here's Riley DeMerchant, the team's lone grade 9 player, back to serve. Here's Locke from the lib position for the Huskies. Bit of miscommunication there. Burho and Steves with a little collision. As after that, we'll have a timeout. And we'll get ready to throw to Joe and Charlie.
Well, Charlie, the Lakers girls have been playing pretty well this set. Digging deep, bringing that intensity, and just looks like they're doing everything pretty good. And still, like everyone we interview, there's still some communication errors out there. You still want to hear them yelling, but I want to say they are one of the best out of the school's volleyball teams on communicating. They do it pretty well. Sometimes you get slip-ups, but hey, their coaches have pretty made sure that they get those calls and be vocal out there. Let their teammates know, hey, I'm getting this ball, and I'm going to watch it. You're getting traded.
Thank you, Joe and Charlie. Some great insight there. And I think you're right. The Lakers have taken the momentum here, and coming out of the timeout, it is the Lakers who strike first. Riley DeMerchant has maintained possession. Played from outside the red lines, but sent in nicely by Steves. Here's Ava Grieve now. Big hit. They heard that in Hampton. Burho and Stevens got up and made contact, but that was just way too close to the, or sorry, not close enough to the front of the net. And that hit pushed through by Grieve. Nice serve by DeMerchant again. Here's Coughlin. Tries to send it over. That falls back for a fourth hit, although we also have a double hit. According to our referees tonight, John Hamilton and Stefan Nadeau. Here's DeMerchant again, switching up her placement. Found Locke in the back corner. Alice McDonald dives to keep that alive. Nice play by Natalie Bernard, but Locke is there. Coughlin puts it up. Big hit by Blackney. So we have a whistle there. Ava Greaves sent it over, but there was a double hit at some point. And so Huskies get the ball back as Ethan Davidson shows the score to both benches. Big thanks to him working the score board tonight, as well as Alice Vautour and Maddie Fraser-Cole, who are running that score sheet. Nice service by the Huskies. It's a little too much for Lib Haley Messer to handle, as that shanks off and goes out of bounds. So Stevens back to serve. Her team trails 14-21. Certainly nothing outside the realm of possibility. Ooh, tough break. That looked like it was going out. Lakers elected to roll the dice. Not coming up green and gold this time, as that falls right inside the red lines. Huskies get the point. Here's Stevens again. Nice high service by Stevens. That's fielded by Grieve. Maddie Chisholm sets up Grieve again. Big cross-court hit from Ava Grieve. That falls inside the red lines. And it will be Grieve back to serve as well. Lakers 3 points away from the victory. Hampton won the first set by a score of 20-25. Lakers going to look to tie things up here. It won't happen this time, though, as Hampton got the point there. Grieve's serve falls out of bounds, and it will be Burho back to serve. Alice McDonald from the back row gets it over to Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard sends it over. Nice work at the net front from Bernard, blocking again. There's Ava Grieve, gets it over to Maddie Chisholm. Back to Grieve from a tough angle. That's hard to get from behind that red line. She catches the top of the net, and ultimately the point goes to the Huskies. Here's Burho again. Grieve back to Messer. Chisholm's got to send it over. As Huskies getting some support from the bench there, as their girls pretty well positioned on that red line to make the calls for balls going out. Maddie Chisholm's hit just falls out of bounds. Haley Messer fields that up to the front. So Huskies, down by 7 at one point, have bitten into this lead. They trail by 3 now, and the momentum has swung the other way. Here's Burho. Grieve. Over to Natalie Bernard. And that's high, fielded high by the Huskies. So it is the Lakers who collect the point, 23-19, as Maddie Chisholm goes back to serve. She had a nice 5-point run early in this second set. We'll see if she can finish things off here and tie it up for the Lakers. Fielded by Stevens. Coughlin puts it up, and Blackney finds a hole. Nice work by Blackney, looking for the gap in the defenses. So Huskies still in this thing, 23-20. They trail by 3 as Steves goes back to serve. She also had a nice run in the early going. We'll see if she can recapture some of that magic. Haley Messer gets it to Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard looking to just ride the sideline there, but sends it a bit too far. That goes out of bounds, and so it is the Huskies claiming the point. Here's Steves now. Haley Messer over to Maddie Chisholm, who puts it up. Hannah Mason looking cross court, but Locke is there to keep it alive. Coughlin puts it up. Awkward spot on the third hit. Tough break for the Huskies, as that was a pretty rough angle, very sharp for Blackney at the front of the net. And so the ball is on the hands of Natalie Bernard. We have set point here with the Lakers leading 24-21. We'll see if she can finish this off. Nice service from Bernard, but Locke is there to field it. It's going directly over. Riley DeMerchant with the nice direct response. Here's a third hit from Moore. Natalie Bernard diving play to keep it alive. No teammates can get there in time, though. So that will roll out of bounds, 24-22. A very close affair here in the second set. Hampton looking to take a stranglehold. Lakers looking to storm back and tie it up. Service from Blackney. Ava Grieve fields that over to Maddie Chisholm. Putting it up for Grieve, who looks long. Nice placement by Greaves. Locke diving for that, can't quite make it in time, and with that, 25-22 is your score. The Lakers have won the second set.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting set from the Laker girls and the Hampton Huskies. With me is David White. We're actually going to do a little segment we like to call Get to Know the Stream Team. So, Mr. White, what is it exactly you do for us stream?
Well, there's a lot of organization work for sure. A lot of sending emails, a lot of rounding folks up at lunchtime, checking in who's working when. We're just kind of ironing out our process right now as we get more and more folks on board and trying to get people who really likes working the camera, who really likes working the booth and the interviews, who's looking to do more of the commentary thing. But we're always looking for more folks to come on board. So really, we're still in the early recruitment stages. It's really exciting though as the stream team kind of takes those early steps into building something pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. So, what gave you the idea to start something like this up at our school?
Well, when COVID first hit, and we were having games here in the gym, but with no fans allowed, I know Mr. Mike Fletcher and I, it started with Mr. Mike Fletcher. He was broadcasting the games, and we had a microphone. We started giving some score updates, and I'd actually done a bit of radio when I was at University of Iowa. And I was able to do some football. They've been doing the Mountie games for about 15 years. I was fortunate to work with them and have a good station who gave me some guidance. And I've always liked sports radio. And so I thought, hey, this is something cool that I used to do. Let's see if we can do something cool with kids here. And started doing the broadcast with the kids involved. And we've grown into who we are now.
Well, couldn't be possible without you. I mean, it's pretty wicked that you did start listening to Mr. Mike Fletcher, and pretty gave us youngins out here an opportunity to show the world what we can do just represent the community.
Well, hey, it's the stream team for a reason, right? This is not solo affair. We've got a great crew here. Very happy to be surrounded by a lot of very passionate
Alrighty, well, we'll let you get back to commentating for the senior girls.
Sounds good. We got a great game here. So I'll head back to headset and we'll see what's going on the court.
That was David White. Get to know your big shout out to him and Mr. Mike Fletcher for that. And we'll send you right back to
Okay, thanks so much, Joe. Big thanks to Joe and Charlie holding down the booth. And if you're just joining us, the score is tied 1-1 here in this third set. A great back and forth affair in that second one, but ultimately the Lakers took it 25-21. So we're all tied up at 1. It's going to be a long night here in the David McMullen Gymnasium, especially if the girls keep rallying back and forth as they've done so far. Right now it is Hampton out to the early lead. We've got Pietra, number 10 for the Huskies. Got a very particular jump serve routine. There's Maddie Chisholm keeping it alive. Nice hit by Natalie Bernard. Saved by Locke, as she's done so many times this evening. McKenzie sends it over for the Huskies. Here's Lauren Peasy with the response. Nice play by Peasy. Puts it right in front of the Huskies, just out of reach of the diving Piter. And so it is the Lakers who take the point. We're all tied up at 2. Natalie Bernard with the serve. Ball is up, and that's good. Locke saving that. That's put up by Coughlin. McKenzie with the nice cross-court hit, but that's kept alive by the Lakers. Lauren Peasy sends it over. Locke again. Up for Coughlin. Blocked at the front of the net by Riley DeMerchant. Nice play by the rookie. Natalie Bernard keeps it alive in the back row. Riley DeMerchant sends it up, and Ava Grieve is going to push that over. Somerville gets that up. There's Lauren Haley keeping it alive. Over to Maddie Chisholm. Ava Grieve with a nice hit. Coughlin keeps it up. Great rally here by both sides. Here's Chisholm. DeMerchant with the hit. Piter puts it up. Coughlin looking for Locke. Tough break. Those hits are really hard to manage from the back row. Locke with a big smile on her face. Kept that rally alive more than once, but unable to finish there. And after that extended exchange, it is the Lakers who come out ahead. They lead 3-2 as Natalie Bernard gets set for another serve. It's a service fielded by Locke. McKenzie puts it over to Coughlin, looking back row. Smart play by the Lakers. They saw that going out and let it go. So 4-2 now. Lakers look to build a lead and put some points in the bank early. Nice service from Bernard. That made a lot of contact with the top of the net. I didn't think that was going over, but it did. I don't think the Huskies thought that was going over either. It's caught a little bit out of position. Here's Bernard again. Switching up her location. But that will go just out of bounds. So the Huskies take it. Number 14, whose name I don't think we have on our roster tonight. But number 14 for the Huskies will serve. Nice service. It's going out of bounds. Haley Messer making that call. Messer in the back row libero position. Has to see a lot of those. Good call by Messer. Here's Lauren Peasy now with the service. That's put up by Piter. Coughlin over to Hicks for the hit. Lauren Haley keeps it alive. Maddie Chisholm on the third hit, sends it over. Locke in the back. Coughlin with the set. McKenzie opting for a bump instead of a hit. That goes to Haley Messer. Here's Chisholm. Looks for Ava Grieve cross court. Blocked nicely at the net by Hicks. She's got a lot of height at the front of the net there. Using that to her advantage. Here's Somerville. Haley Messer. Over to Lauren Haley, but we're not going to see the end of that as there's a double hit somewhere. And someone in green and gold was the guilty party. So it's Somerville with the opportunity to tie things up here in the early going of the third set. Haley Messer. Over to Lauren Haley, and Ava Greaves sends it to the back corner. Overshoots by a little bit, though, and the Huskies have tied things up. Here's Somerville looking to take the lead now. And we've got a timeout call by the Huskies, actually, which is interesting. And we'll go over to Joe and Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. It's not very common to see a tie game but Coach probably seen something she wasn't too happy about. Did a quick adjustment. We want to keep this league up. We want to keep doing it. Let's work on this. This is what moves and covers the whole scenario. So, kind of smart play to think about it by coaches. You have to be pretty smart.
Just like
I might have to
I will take
it's like a championship game out there, folks. It looks pretty cool on the stream, but believe me, it looks better in person. So if you ever feel like coming out to a Harvey Lakers game, come on out. There's a lot of good football. Volleyball being played. Alrighty, folks. The game is on its way, so we'll send you right back to David White with commentary.
Thanks for that, Joe and Charlie. Yeah, a bit of a curious call, as they mentioned. We'll see if it pays off. It's a bold move, Cotton. But so far, Hampton has come out ahead. They're 2-1 after that timeout, as they've gone up 8-7. Mackenzie gets ready for the serve. That's going to skim over the top of the net. Haley Messer with a last-minute dive. Not sure if she was expecting that to go over or not. Either way, Hampton up to a 2-point lead now. Here's Mackenzie again. This Lauren Haley directs it out of bounds. So 10-7 is your score. Mackenzie now. Lauren Peasy can't quite get there in time. So Mackenzie scores again on a nice little run for her squad, as now it's the Huskies pulling away. Here's Mackenzie. Lauren Peasy fields that. Bobbled at the front of the net there. Grieve and DeMerchant both trying to get that over. Guilty of maybe a fifth or a sixth hit there. Here's Mackenzie again. Lauren Haley puts that high for Maddie Chisholm. Ava Grieve will send it over. Locke directs it to the front. Coughlin putting it up. Piter's going to send that over to Lauren Haley to Maddie Chisholm. But we have a whistle. Double hit. As head referee John Hamilton and second referee Stéphane Nadeau make that call. Here's Mackenzie again. Gets Lauren Haley, who sends it over to Maddie Chisholm, keeping it alive. Ava Grieve nicely directed. Diving play by Mackenzie. That was a good play by the Huskies. Almost kept it alive, but that goes just out of bounds. And so the Lakers get the ball back. Hampton building quite a nice lead, so looks like that timeout might have paid off. Still lots of volleyball to play tonight, though, as we're essentially in a best 2 out of 3 situation, the teams having split the first 2 sets. Here's Lauren Haley over to Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard up for the hit. Hicks makes contact, but it's not enough. That shanks out of bounds on the Huskies' side. And so the Lakers take the point. 9-13 is the score, as Riley DeMerchant's going to look to close this gap even further. Nice service from DeMerchant, fielded by Locke. Up at the front of the net, Coughlin sending it over. Someone made the call on the court, and it was a good one. Lauren Haley pulling up at just the right time to let that go out of bounds. Lakers get the point. Here's Riley DeMerchant again, looking for her 3rd consecutive point. Big hit, cross court from Piter. Lauren Peasy is there. Over to Lauren Haley, back to Peasy, who sends it into the second level. That's too high for Hicks and too low for Mackenzie, as it falls between the Hampton defenders. Nice run here by DeMerchant. Mackenzie puts that up over to Coughlin. Piter looks cross court. Riley DeMerchant is there. Maddie Chisholm elects to send it over. Nice misdirection by Chisholm, but it doesn't fool the Huskies. Here's Lauren Haley. Maddie Chisholm looking to set things up for Natalie Bernard. Good dive by Mackenzie. Chisholm to Bernard to Ava Grieve, looks in the back, but Locke keeps it alive from the lib position. Mackenzie 3rd hit, gets it over to Lauren Haley. Maddie Chisholm puts it up. Ava Grieve sends it over, and this time Mackenzie can't quite get there in time. So Riley DeMerchant has managed to help the Lakers storm back. 12-13 now. She looks to tie things up. Response is out of bounds by Somerville. So we're all tied up here yet again. 13 all. As Riley DeMerchant goes back to serve. Locke sends it up. There's Coughlin. Over to Piter. That's out of bounds. As the Lakers take their first lead in a little while. Riley DeMerchant jogs back to the court with the ball in hand. Another nice serve from DeMerchant. Locke is going to direct that to her setter, Coughlin. Hicks with the hit. Maddie Chisholm kept it alive by Ava Grieve, but unfortunately that was the third hit. So sending it back to her teammates is not going to help. 14-all is your score. Very close affair. A lot of energy from the bench as Hicks puts the ball up. Lauren Peasy's going to direct that over to Ava Grieve. Puts it high for Natalie Bernard. Nice hit from Bernard. Piter fields it, but that goes directly into one of our vents in the ceiling, which of course makes it a dead ball. Here's Ava Grieve with a 1-point lead. Looks to extend it with a nice service. There's Mackenzie. Somerville from the back row. Helped over by number 14 of the Huskies. Maddie Chisholm with the set. Lauren Peasy, cross-court hit, saved by Mackenzie. Somerville to Piter. Sends it to the back row for Haley Messer, looking for Chisholm. Natalie Bernard with a nice hit. Piter gets a hand on it, but it's not quite enough. Directs it to the front of the net and onto the floor. 16-14 is your score. Nice serve from Grieve. Mackenzie gets that, and at the front of the net, that falls to the players. We got another timeout called by the Huskies. We're going to go back to Joe and Charlie.
So Charlie. Amazing set by both teams.
Yeah, that's true. The timeout really were called by Hampton. Did seem to work. They got quite a lead, but Harvey just started to bring it back. Now up by 3. Quite interesting job.
Oh, very. One rally, I swear, they spiked it back and forth, and you were just on the edge of your seat waiting to see who and what team would win. And I believe it was Harvey that came up with that, and both teams playing very well receiving and hitting. Like, it's been a pretty intense day.
This game has definitely been keeping me on my toes, and I just can't stop watching. It's been extremely interesting.
Oh yeah, we'll send you back to David White with your commentary.
Thank you, Joe and Charlie. And yeah, I have to say, I agree completely. Might be the most entertaining volleyball game we've seen here in the David McMullen Gymnasium this season. Two very closely matched teams. Some strong hitters on both sides. Both liberos playing with, I would say, MVP quality tonight. So we've had a lot of extended rallies, big hits, big saves, an entertaining game all around. Of course, a very energized bench from both teams. That helps, as the Hampton girls really appreciated their team getting the point on that rally. They're up to a 2-point, or just a 2-point deficit, rather. As Lakers up by 2. There's a nice serve from Coughlin. That goes high. Ava Grieve looking for a 3-point shot. And that hits the basketball net. Does not fall through the net. I don't know if we've seen that yet here in the David McMullen Gymnasium. Not with that ball, anyways. Here's Coughlin looking to tie things up. Lauren Haley is going to field that over to Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard blocked, but a good heads-up play to keep it alive. Ava Grieve sends it over. Good work by the Lakers with keeping their heads in the game. That's Stevens winding up for a big hit, but elects to send it just over the defender. Lakers had to scramble and couldn't quite get there in time. Nice play by Stevens. We're all tied up here at 17. Here's Coughlin. Lauren Haley fields that. Ava Grieve sends it to the front of the net. It's a sharp angle for the Lakers. And Coughlin has given her team a lead now. Looks like the Hampton timeout has really paid off. Here's Coughlin again. Lauren Haley sends it directly over, blocked at the front of the net by number 14 in black and white. Lakers can't quite respond. So now it's a 2-point lead for the Huskies as Coughlin finds herself on a 4-point run. Head referee John Hamilton whistles the ball into play. With a service from Coughlin, that's low. Lakers happy to stop the momentum there. Maddie Chisholm's going to get the ball back. She's had a good night from the service line. We'll see if she can get the Lakers back into things. And there's that announcer's jinx. Happens more often than we care to admit. Chisholm's service catches the net. And it is Stevens back to serve. Here's Stevens. This over to Lauren Haley. Diving to try to make that play. Can't quite direct it to a teammate. And so Stevens will serve again. There's Stevens. Over to Ava Grieve. Madison Chisholm. Lauren Peasy sends it over, but that's fielded directly by Stevens. Nice work at the front of the net by Peasy to send it back to the Hampton side. Here's McKenzie looking second level. To Chisholm. Back to Bernard. Back to Chisholm, who sends it over. Stevens looking for Coughlin. Big set, but we got a whistle. There's a double hit on the Hampton side. As Lib Haley Messer checks out and Riley DeMerchant checks in to come to the front row. Natalie Bernard also had a bit of a run earlier in this set. Her team trails by 2. Let's see if she can close the gap. Here's Locke over to Coughlin. McKenzie with the big hit, but Natalie Bernard is there. Fields it, but that's out of reach for her teammates. So the Huskies up 22-19 here in the late stages. Ball on the hands of number 14. Locke has checked out from the lib position, and Hicks, I think the tallest Husky player, up at the net front. Haley Messer gets that over to Ava Grieve. Maddie Chisholm's going to send it cross court. Somerville to Coughlin, but there's an infraction there. I believe that's over the net, as we have that textbook executed call by referees John Hamilton and Stefan Nadeau. Really putting on a clinic here when it comes to the referee signals. There's Lauren Peasy with the serve. Nice serve by Peasy. Not sure what happened there. Huskies barely moved. Don't know if they weren't expecting that or just figuring out the defensive assignments. Either way, Lakers will take the point in this crucial stage. Lauren Peasy looking to tie things up now. It's fielded by McKenzie to Coughlin. Back to McKenzie, cross court. Good placement by the Huskies. McKenzie saw a big gap over short on the far side. Put the ball where it was well out of reach by any green jersey. And that gives her team a 2-point lead here in the late stages. Service by Somerville. That's fielded out of reach by the Lakers, so we have set points on the hands of Somerville, and we are going to get a timeout called, this time by the Lakers. Coaches Tracy Messer and Tammy DeMerchant talk to their girls as we have Charlie and Joe talk to you.
Well, Greg Butterfly, so that's what I'm calling Butterfly. Gotta be honest, Hampton bringing that fire. They're always supporting each other. Great communication every time. I like to say they like to do their little cheer, the Hampton Howl for the Huskies.
Communicating. It's just an intense game. It's coming down to lucky touches, less balls, and big spikes to score. The one thing I want to point out is classmate of mine and also senior girls volleyball player, Lauren Easy. She said to me today, in the rankings for the volleyball, they are tied for 3rd place. And Lauren said, man, we're playing the Hampton Huskies tonight. I said, are they a good team? She's like, yeah, but we can beat them. We're a strong team as well. Yeah, they're tied for 1st, but we're coming for that spot soon. We'll send you right back. They would like to go for the one thing Lauren Peasy told me, so we'll send you right back to David White.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe and Charlie. So that last exchange coming out of the timeout, it is the Huskies who claim the point. They go up 2-1. So we're going to play 4 and then 5, or well, potentially 5, I should say. as Harvey needs the next 2 wins to claim the evening. But some good insight there from Lauren Peasy rather, via Joe Gregory. These girls have shown that they can win these games. They've beat Hampton once tonight. They've stayed close every set. Leads going back and forth, flying fast. So both teams staying in it really well. This is anyone's game, and we're looking forward to another, hopefully 2, but at least 1 more exciting set here in the David McMullen Gymnasium. But as we are still in intermission, we will send back to Joe and Charlie, or maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, no, I believe we'll send back to Joe and Charlie now.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So, Charlie, thank you, Mr. White, for your little insight on what you had to say about the game and stuff. Charlie, what are some things you want to point out?
Well, some things I want to point out is the even when the opponents have 24 points and they're down by 5, the coach will make that extra timeout just to keep their players' heads in the game. The set is not over. Tracy and Tammy doing a great job on that. Just when Hampton are 1 point away from winning the set, they call the timeout, tell all the players that they're still in the game, it hasn't been over yet, and trying to get their head back in the game. Didn't quite work out. Hampton did win the set, but overall, very good call on their part.
Yeah, great pointers out there, Charlie. Lakers coaches, they're big in the sports. Like Tammy and Tracy coach middle school basketball, JV basketball, like almost every sport imaginable for the Lakers. So it's pretty wicked to have them out coaching the girls. They're obviously very competitive, and you can tell they brought that aspect to their team. Another thing I want to point out, Natalie Bernard, heavy on the net tonight. Sending back balls, blocking, spiking, and Ava Grieva as well. When she gets up there and swings, it's not a pity swing. She swings like she's trying to take your head off or you're her worst enemy. She tries her hardest to get that ball in the court and get it right through your fingers. Alrighty, folks, we'll send it back to David White.
Thank you, Joe and Charlie. And there's the aforementioned Natalie Bernard making an impact right away here in this 4th set. It's do or die for the Lakers. Huskies looking to take the win and close this game out. Lakers, of course, looking to stay alive for a 5th and deciding set. Here's Ava Grieve, her team up 1-0. And that'll be 2-0 now as her serve right on the red line. Huskies thought that was going out. I might have made that call if I were there too. Prefer not to get in the way of a ball coming at me with that speed, that's for sure. There it is again. That's put up by Somerville. Coughlin over to number 14. This time it's a bit clearer call. That's well out of bounds. As referees John Hamilton and Stefan Nadeau making that call. Lakers up 3-0 here in the early going. Ava Grieve. I was going to say on a bit of a run, but unfortunately, as quickly as it has begun, it is over. That ball out of bounds, and the Huskies have their first point. We should mention this game tonight brought to you by our unofficial sponsors, or the unofficial sponsors of this game, who are clearly the manufacturers of athletic tape. As we're seeing a lot of that out there on wrists, ankles, a lot of tape out there as late in the season. Both teams have seen their share of action. Service from Stevens will catch the net and bounce back. So Lakers up 4-1. Here's Maddie Chisholm. Service catches the top of the net as well, so the teams trade misfires. And Locke checks out and Hicks checks in. Number 14 back to serve for the black and white. Ball is up, that's good. Haley Messer keeps it alive. Maddie Chisholm back to Alice McDonald on the 3rd set. Maddie Chisholm tried to sneak that over, but that, of course, is a 4th hit. Nothing getting past the eagle eyes of John Hamilton and Stéphane Nadeau tonight. As here's number 14 for the Huskies, looking to tie things up. Nice hit. Haley Messer fields that. Hicks at the front of the net. She sends that directly back. We're seeing a lot of those from Georgia Bernard in the first game. Now we're seeing it for the other side. Not so pleasant when you're on the receiving end, I guess. But Hicks has a lot of height and can redirect those balls nicely. All tied up at 4 now. Here come the Huskies. Ava Grieve puts it up for Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard with a nice hit. Lakers take a 1-point lead as Messer checks out and DeMerchant checks in. Natalie Bernard going back to serve. So the girls do the customary high fives. Service by Bernard, fielded by Locke. Coughlin puts it up. McKenzie with a nice cross-court hit, but that's saved by Bernard. Chisholm looking for Ava Grieve, sending it to the back, but Locke is there. Almost saved. Good heads-up play by Coughlin at the front of the net. Got it back to her teammates for what could have been a third hit, but ultimately came a little low. Still, those are very hard to play at the front of the net, so nice work by Coughlin, even making contact. Here's Bernard again. 6-4 is the lead. That's played by Locke. Put up by Coughlin. Hicks sends it over, but Ava Grieve is there. Maddie Chisholm puts it up for Hannah Mason. Mason electing to volley to the back. Cross-court hit by McKenzie, but we've got a whistle. Not sure what the infraction was, but I think it came before Lakers made contact, so might have been a defensive net touch. 6-5 is your score. Somerville's serve is a little low. So Lakers up by 2. As Hannah Mason goes back to serve. Here's Mason. Nice serve. It's low to Locke. McKenzie over to Coughlin. Sends it to Alice McDonald. Maddie Chisholm. Nice dig to keep it alive. Ava Grieve sends it to the back row. That pass just out of reach for Coughlin. And that will be out of bounds. So Lakers up by 3 now. Here's Mason again. That will catch the top of the net and roll out. Score is now 8-6, as shown by Alice Vautour, who is showing the scorecard to both benches. Big thanks to her, as well as Maddie Fraser-Cole running the score sheet, and Ethan Davidson, who was at the minor officiating table earlier in the evening. Riley DeMerchant sends it over. Nice move by Locke, keeping it alive to Hicks, over to Stevens. Big hit by Ava Grieve, kept alive one-handed by Locke. Nice play by Somerville, sending it over. Another great extended rally. Here's the Huskies again. Sent over the heads of the front row, but Alice McDonald is there. Nice setup for Ava Grieve. Grieve had a good hit with all the power, but just not enough topspin, as that will fall out of bounds and ultimately score a point for the Huskies. Here's McKenzie looking to tie us up. Nice service by McKenzie. Haley Messer gets there in time, can't quite direct it at the angle she wants. And so we are all tied up at 8 now. McKenzie. Back to serve. Ball is up. Haley Messer gets a nice clean pass over to Riley DeMerchant. Ava Grieve will send it to the back row. Locke is there. Coughlin puts it up. Nice hit by Stevens. DeMerchant to Ava Grieve, looking again in the back, but Locke again keeps it alive. Stevens sends it over one-handed, falls between a few Lakers, and that will score one for the visitors. Huskies up by 1 now. McKenzie on a bit of a run. Gets it to Haley Messer in the back. That goes out of bounds, so The Huskies continue to build on their lead. 10-8 here in this fourth set. Huskies win, and they secure tonight's victory. Lakers win, and we go to a fifth and deciding set. Long way to go for either team, though. Here's McKenzie to Mason. DeMerchant sends it over. McKenzie, Coughlin. Stevens sends it over, but Ava Grieve is there. Hannah Mason one-handed. Maddie Chisholm sends it over on the third hit, but that's just out of bounds. Good scramble by the Lakers making contact, but just can't quite get it to fall within the red lines. So here's McKenzie. Haley Messer gets that over to DeMerchant, sending it over. Coughlin at the front of the net with the direct response. Here's DeMerchant again, looking back row this time. McKenzie, Locke, and Hicks from the yellow line, roughly. Can't quite get the angle right, and so that will catch the top of the net and roll out. Lakers down by 2. Here's Alice McDonald back to serve. Nice serve, looks to the back row. Gets it to Locke, to Coughlin. Hit by Stevens, but that's saved by Messer. Here's Maddie Chisholm. Over to Ava Grieve for the third hit. Locke is there to Coughlin. Hicks with the hit, and again, tough angle. As the Lakers will take the point. 10-11 is the score. As not sure what the call was there. Referee John Hamilton sorting something out from the chair, but we're all good now. Here's a serve from Alice McDonald. From Locke to McKenzie, over to Hicks. This time it makes it over. Hannah Mason gets that to Maddie Chisholm. Ava Grieve with a big hit, dropping it right on the line in the back. And yet again, we are all tied up tonight, as we have been so often in the David McMullen Gymnasium, between the senior girls and the senior Hampton Huskies. Locke to Stevens, over to McKenzie. Hannah Mason with the response. Maddie Chisholm is going to set up Riley DeMerchant. Good block there, and second effort from Stevens in the black and white. This time, no second effort needed. Coughlin and Hicks getting hands on that and sending it back to the Lakers side. 12-11 is our score. As Hicks goes back to serve, we've got Locke checking out and number 14 checking in. Here's Hicks. The cross-court service. Alice McDonald can't quite get there in time. So 13-11. As Hicks looks to build on this lead. Here's Hicks. That's going to go out of bounds. As Lakers get the ball, Riley DeMerchant looks to tie things up. Her team down by 1 as we hit the halfway point of this fourth set. McKenzie over to Coughlin. Gets it over Bernard, but Chisholm is there. Back to Bernard, to Ava Grieve for a big hit. Nice power, but that's going to fall out of bounds as the Lakers surrender the ball and go down by 2. Here's Coughlin now. Ball is up. Gets to Alice McDonald, over to Maddie Chisholm. Natalie Bernard on the third hit, sends it to the Huskies. Coughlin putting it up. Nice cross-court hit by Stevens, saved by Messer. Maddie Chisholm. Over to Alice McDonald. Looks for the sharp angle send over, but just couldn't clear our side of the net. So Huskies opening up a 3-point lead now. It's Coughlin, who had a nice little run in the previous set. Looks to recapture some of that magic. Here's the serve. Alice McDonald to Maddie Chisholm. Nice scramble. Natalie Bernard sending that over. McKenzie to Coughlin. And number 14 of the Huskies sends it over. Chisholm to Bernard. Nice work by Bernard. Lakers know that the Huskies have to respect the hit. So when she went up, managed to just push that lightly over and catch the defense unawares. Nice play by the Lakers. Here's Locke looking for McKenzie. And Locke looks like she knows that was not directed where she wanted it to go. So here's Ava Grieve. the opportunity to tie it up. And there's that announcer's jinx. That's going to go to the Huskies. 16-14, slim lead as we pass the halfway point of this fourth set. Just a reminder, if you're joining us, Lakers dropped the first set by a score of 20-25. They did win the second 25-21 and dropped the third 21-25. So Lakers need a win here to stay alive. Both teams have shown that they are very capable of taking home the victory tonight. Either way, it's going to be a well-fought affair, and every girl will leave the court holding her head up high. There's Haley Messer getting it over to Maddie Chisholm. Good hit by Natalie Bernard, but that's kept alive by Stevens. McKenzie sends it over, but Bernard puts it up to Chisholm. Over to Hannah Mason for a nice hit. And that's Stevens who can't quite get there. All right, here's Chisholm. Ball is up. It's that out of bounds. I believe that is Stevens on the play. Yeah. Okay. Here's Chisholm. Nice up by Chisholm. Natalie Bernard. Nice play at the front of the net. I guess we know where Georgia got all her tips, as sister Natalie has a nice textbook play. Goes up and angles that down. It's the Lakers with a 2-point lead. Here's Maddie Chisholm. Service short as, she all smiles on that one. Bit of a misfire. As we've got number 14 back to serve. Here's an important substitution. Ethan Davidson is back at the minor officiating table. Haley Messer puts that up for Ava Grieve. Natalie Bernard on the third hit will send it over to the second row. Up by Coughlin, over to McKenzie for a cross-court hit. Alice McDonald to Ava Grieve, who sends it. Diving play to keep it alive. Nice work by McKenzie. These Huskies never quit. There's Natalie Bernard to McKenzie again, keeping it alive to Stevens. Hicks sends it over. And a communication breakdown by the Lakers there. So we had a couple times where that was looking done, but both teams kept it alive. Ball ultimately falling on the third hit on the Lakers side of the court. So we're all tied up at 18 now. A real back and forth affair. Lakers getting some help from the bench. Lauren Peasy with a good angle on that one, letting the girls know that's going out, and indeed it was. So Lakers catch a break. Here's Natalie Bernard getting ready to serve her team up by 1 as she looks to build on that. Here's Bernard over to Locke. Coughlin puts it up. McKenzie with the soft tap, but Alice McDonald diving from the back row to keep that alive. Nice play. Nice work by Riley DeMerchant at the front of the net. Hicks can't quite keep it alive. Lakers earned that one, getting support from the back row and the front of the net. A full team affair. Here's Natalie Bernard again. Ethan Davidson makes sure that all coaches and teams are aware of the score. Here's Bernard, nice serve. Locke can't quite get there on the third hit. Nice play by Somerville. Hicks blocking at the front of the net, but Alice McDonald is there. Maddie Chisholm opting for some misdirection. Oh, Huskies survived some miscommunication. That's a nice heads-up play by McKenzie. Will send that over. Here's Coughlin over to Hicks with the hit, but McDonald again keeps it alive. Maddie Chisholm sends it to Ava Grieve long. Locke with the diving play to Coughlin. McKenzie looks back corner. Ava Grieve to Madison Chisholm as Hannah Mason looks to close it out, but Locke is there. As a tough call going the Huskies' way. Referees Stefan Nadeau and John Hamilton making the call of a net touch. So while the ball fell on the Hampton side, they will record the point. Tough break by the Lakers after a very long rally. Here's Hannah Mason. Getting it to Maddie Chisholm. Hicks had the hit, but Riley DeMerchant keeping her head in the game. Good play. Alice McDonald to Maddie Chisholm. There's Hannah Mason with a nice hit. That's just out of reach for Locke. She's gotten most of them in that back row libero position, but couldn't quite get there. As Hannah Mason heads back to serve now. Her team up by 2. 21-19 is your score here in the 4th set. Lakers need this win to stay alive. Ball shanked by the Huskies. So Lakers up by 3 in the crucial late stages. Mason again, wearing number 14 for the green and gold. That's fielded by Locke. Played at the front of the net by McKenzie. It's a bit of a sharp angle. And we've got a timeout. Yeah, could have seen this one coming. As we go over to Joe and Charlie for some analysis.
Holy cow, Charlie. I'm just sweating over that one.
Oh my, yeah, I got sweaty palms just watching the game. I just can't take my eyes off of it. The back and forth plays on both sides very impressive. You see Hampton diving out of bounds on the last hit and keeping it in play. It's just amazing to watch.
Yeah, same with Harvey. They'll get down by like 3. Looks like Hampton's coming away. And then next thing you know, you blink and Harvey's up by 3 and vice versa, vice versa. This game, not just the sets, the whole game has been nerve-wracking. It's been amazing to watch. You can't get better sports than this. Hannah Mason up to serve for your Lakers. So we'll give you right back to David White.
Thank you, Joe and Charlie. As we get back here, 23-19 is your score. Here's Hannah Mason. That will catch the top of the net, though, so good use of the timeout yet again by Hampton. It's been a very good instinct by those coaches, calling timeouts at just the right moments, icing the server. Here's McKenzie. Had a nice 4-point run earlier in this set. What she can do here, Haley Messer makes contact, but that goes way into the stands. So 21-23 is our score. Big thanks to Ethan Davidson, Alice Vautour, and Maddie Fraser-Cole running the minor officiating table and providing some moral support for our girls. Here's McKenzie now. Hannah Mason gets that to Alice McDonald. Riley to Merchant sends it over, but that's blocked at the front of the net by Hicks and Coughlin. So 22-23 is your score. Hampton 3-0 coming out of the timeout. As McKenzie looks to tie things up. That goes over low, catches the Lakers frozen. We're all tied up at 23. Closest set yet, as it is Hampton coming out on fire after this timeout. Here's McKenzie. We may see another timeout if the Huskies score here. We'll keep an eye on the Lakers bench. Although hopefully we won't need to, but that is high. And yet we do have a timeout called as a set point on the hand of the Huskies. Lakers look to get things in hand.
Yeah, down by 3. Now they're up by 1. It is win by 2, so if Harvey scores, Hampton has to score 2 more points to win. But that's if Harvey does score. I want to give a little shout out to David White with all the commentator jinxes that's been happening tonight. Holy, can't blame him. Like, Hampton's proven us wrong up here. We talk a little bit of stuff they need to do, and then they capitalize on what they have to do out there. So, pretty smart players, pretty smart coaches on both ends of the floor. Alrighty, we're going to give you back to David White as the girls take the floor.
All right, thank you, Joe and Charlie. And yes, as we mentioned, it is win by 2. So if Hampton scores here, we're all done. But if the Lakers score, we go into extra points. We'll see what happens. Here's McKenzie. Up to serve. Alice McDonald keeps it alive, and Riley DeMerchant sends it over, so we're going to play some ball. Third hit by Coughlin goes over. Hannah Mason keeps it alive. There's Maddie Chisholm. Looks for the hit from Grieve, and that's out of bounds on the Huskies side, so we're going into extra points. 24-24 is your score. Alice McDonald is going to need 2 here. You have to win by 2. So 25-24 is not going to do it. Looking for the first here. Coughlin to Hicks. Bit of a misplay. Lakers able to capitalize. So now it's the home side using the timeout to their advantage. And again, they're going to need the point here. If Hampton scores, we're going even later. Here's Alice McDonald. Lock to Coughlin. Hicks needs to send it over, and she does. Messer looking for Chisholm. Up to the Merchant for a big hit, but we've got a whistle. There's a net touch. Huskies are guilty, and with that, Lakers win that set in extra points, 26-24. We're going to play a 5th and deciding set, as it has been a very exciting matchup. Referees are going to take some time to confer. Hamilton and Nadeau. Some great all-around play as we go back to Joe and Charlie.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you call us, Charlie, the gorgeous Gregories. But we're not the only thing gorgeous out here tonight. The level of play of the girls, it's just been beautiful to watch. Both sides. Amazing passes, amazing spikes. Even the digs. Every time I look, one player's on the floor, bumping that ball up, putting their bodies on the line. It's a grit and grind game, and just couldn't be more proud of each and every one of them out on the floor, even for Hampton.
Yeah, the Harvey's getting the Hampton were playing. They were too worried about what Harvey was doing and not what they were doing, and they ended up touching the net, causing the match point to go to Harvey, and he sending us into a set 5. Very interesting on what's going to happen throughout this season. Every time there's a timeout for Hampton, the coaches seem to use magic and change the game plan and struggle a little bit more until they figure it out. So I'm very interested to see and hear what these coaches are telling each one of these players right now. Because Harvey's coaches definitely got these players. Hampton's coaches definitely got them morale, telling them what to do, telling them to be quicker on their feet, fill their spots. And it's just been an amazing game to watch so far.
Definitely, Charlie. Couldn't be more in awe of the level of coaching, the level of play. You swear it's not even a high school game. You think this is top notch up with the professionals pretty much. But no, you gotta love it. I know, we're from Harvey, we're big Lakers fans, but Hampton, they're intense too. Couldn't be more fan of their game as well. And quick shout out to the referees. Definitely not an easy game to be officiating tonight. Last set, it was called to net touch. So, refs, great calls on both ends of what I see. Officiating pretty fair, and couldn't be more happy to have them out tonight. So as the game is about to take away, we'll pass you on to commentating legend in Harvey, David White.
Thank you very much, Charlie and Joe. Some great insight as we get started for this 5th and deciding set. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to play to 15 or to 25. Either way, it's a great start by the referees who make a call. A net touch. Natalie Bernard did have a nice tip. Not sure who was guilty of the net touch, but either way, it's Hampton who strike first. Although the Lakers getting some good energy from the crowd. Haley Messer plays that out of bounds, so Huskies out to a 2-point lead. Here's Coughlin on the service for the black and white. Nice serve. That's put up by Haley Messer. Alice McDonald Ava Greaves sends it over from the back row. Nice play as the girls reset. Cross-court hit from Blackney, fielded by the Lakers. That's played at the front of the net. Burrow put it over. Bernard and Peasy tried to make something happen there, but pinballed around a little bit too low. And so it is the Huskies recording the point, up 3-0 here in the early going of the fifth and final set. This one's for all the marbles. As the girls, the senior Lakers had a lot of momentum coming in, but so far it's been all Huskies as they look to put this thing away for good. Here's Coughlin again. That will catch the top of the net, though. And the Lakers take the point. Here's Maddie Chisholm. Been one of the Lakers' strongest servers tonight. There it is. That's fielded by Locke. Put up by Coughlin. Cross-court hit by Steves. A little too much power. That goes out. Not sure who made the call on the court, but whoever it was had a good eye in green and gold, or potentially in black and gold. Either way, Lakers get the point. They trail by 2 as Maddie Chisholm looks to bite into this lead. Locke puts that up. Over to Coughlin. Back to Locke, who sends it over. Here's Natalie Bernard putting up for Maddie Chisholm. Over to Peasy. There's the hit by Blackney, catching the top of the net. That's no good. And the Lakers will take the point. Maddie Chisholm with the chance to tie things up. Looking for her 3rd consecutive point is Madison Chisholm. Ball goes up and it's over. Locke with the first hit. Coughlin with the set, but we've got a whistle. There's a double hit on the Husky side. So that ties us up at 4. As Maddie Chisholm gets a chance to take the lead now. So after giving up 4, a bit of a scary start for Laker fans, but the girls are back in it with a chance to take the lead. Here's McKenzie over to Coughlin. Steves looks cross-court. Alice McDonald is there. Over to Maddie Chisholm. Lauren Peasy will send that over. Diving play by Locke to keep it alive. Nice work by Coughlin and McKenzie. Here's Natalie Bernard, looks to the back row where the girls are just reset, but they're still there. Steve sends it over, but Ava Greaves is there. Chisholm and McDonald double teaming that. That's sent out of bound by the Huskies. Some good scrambles by both teams, and ultimately it is the Lakers coming away with the point, and they have their first lead of this 5th and final set. Again, we're not sure if we're playing to 15 or to 25. But we'll see how teams react when we get closer to that magic number. Here's Steves with a mistimed hit. That'll catch the top of the net and roll out. As we've got a timeout called, Hampton coaches look to talk to their crew.
Well, John, interesting set. Hampton coming up 4-0, but I think we've learned now, and all the players on the floor, that 4-0 lead, an 8-0 lead, it's not a big lead here today in Harvey, so, because we've been seeing big leads been disappearing just like that on the snap of your finger, so Harvey brought it back, now 6-4. Very interesting.
Pretty interesting game. Heart's just a pumping. Nerves are up. You can feel the intensity all the way up here in the skybox, and I would actually hate to be down on the floor with the girls with how hard they are hitting. We wouldn't just be giving you the analysis down there. We would be ducking and dodging, and yeah. So Maddie Chisholm is about to serve for the Harvey Lakers, so we'll pass you along back to David White.
There's a nice service by Chisholm, put up by Steves, who hits it. Haley Messer keeps it alive. Alice McDonald on the 3rd hit. Great work by Chisholm and McDonald keeping it alive. That looks like it was done, but Chisholm and McDonald with great play from pretty much the bleachers kept that alive and in play. 7-4 is the lead. So it's the Lakers coming out of the timeout with the first point. That hasn't happened often on a Huskies timeout. That serve is short as the ball goes over. Maddie Chisholm with a valiant effort went on a 6-point run. But now it's back to the Huskies. And Blackney wearing number 11 for the visitors. Sends it over, a bit of a miscommunication there. Ball falls between McDonald and Messer. So it's back to Blackney with a chance to tie it up. Here's the ball. Alice McDonald makes contact but can't quite direct it in the way she wants. Here's Blackney again. Walking up for her serve, Haley Messer can't quite get there, really laying out for that ball. As we've got a side switch. Okay, so I think we are playing to 15 based on that as one team has hit 8, which makes it the halfway point. And the teams are going to switch side and switch benches and grab their water bottles. It's a bit of an ordeal here, but we're going to go through it anyways in the sake of competitive balance. And so this confirms that we are playing to 15. So every point matters here. We're at the urgent zone. 7-8, very close score as the girls reset. On the court for the Huskies are number 3 Mackenzie, number 6 Steves, number 7 Burho, number 12 Coughlin, number 11 Blackney, and in the red jersey, number 1 Locke. For the Lakers, it is Natalie Bernard, Madison Chisholm, Lauren Peasy, Alice McDonald, Ava Grieve, and in black and gold, Haley Messer. Girls get set and ready to go. So we've got Blackney back to serve, looking for her 3rd consecutive point. Haley Messer's going to field this one up to Madison Chisholm. Lauren Peasy, nice play by Peasy as that rolled the top of the net and ultimately fell over, but the Huskies kept it alive. Here's Natalie Bernard with a more traditional hit. Blackney can't quite get there in time, and we're all tied up at 8. Nice play by the Lakers. Although it was a valiant effort by the Huskies keeping that play alive. Here's Bernard back to serve. Bernard puts the ball up and over. Kept alive by Mackenzie, looking for the second level, but Alice McDonald gets there in time. Riley DeMerchant looking in the back of the court, but Blackney is there. Back set by Coughlin. Natalie Bernard keeps it alive. Here's Lauren Peasy looking cross court. Locke with the second hit. Mackenzie's going to send that over. Natalie Bernard in the center back gets it up to Madison Chisholm. Riley DeMerchant with a big hit. That will fall out of bounds. And it is the Huskies who get the ball. 9-8 is your score. We are playing to 15. Here's Burho. Big service. That's fielded by Peasy. Maddie Chisholm. Guilty of a double touch there as her initial hit the top of the net, bounced back to her. And you can't hit the ball twice consecutively, so Lakers guilty of an infraction. Here's Burho again. Gets it to Grieve. Chisholm. Over to Riley DeMerchant. Looks for the back. That will go out of bounds, though. And Huskies starting to pull ahead at just the wrong time if you're a fan of the green and gold. 11-8 is your score. And a reminder, we are playing to 15 here. It's Burho to Grieve. Over to Chisholm, up for DeMerchant. That's blocked at the front of the net by Moore. Pretty proud of herself as we got a timeout called by the Harvey coaches.
Welcome back, everyone. Holy smokes, Charlie. I'm lost for words, man. Hampton coming away with it, just up by 4. But we've seen this so many times this game. A team will call a timeout, and then they'll come out strong, tie the game, and maybe even win the set. But I don't know. They keep it up. I'm lost for words, man. It's hard to speak up here.
Thank you, boys. On that misfire, it is the Lakers who get the point. So coming out of the timeout, Lakers have the first point. Here's Lauren Peasy with a nice serve. That's fielded up by Steve Coughlin on the second hit. McKenzie's going to send that to the back. Haley Messer is there. Maddie Chisholm's going to put that up for Ava Grieve. Looks for the corner. Look! Keeps that alive. There's Coughlin over to McKenzie. Haley Messer with a diving play. Makes contact, but can't quite get it to a teammate. 13-9. It is dire straits for the green and gold. Down by 4, and their opponents 2 away from victory. Ball on the hand of Steves, wearing number 6 for the black and white. Ava Grieve's going to get that to Riley DeMerchant. Back to Grieve. It's kept alive by Steves. Or check that, McKenzie. Over to Locke. That goes high to Riley DeMerchant. Maddie Chisholm over to Ava Grieve. Looks back row, but Locke is there. Coughlin puts it up, and McKenzie sends it over. Here's Alice McDonald to Maddie Chisholm. Ava Grieve sends it cross court. Locke sending it up to Coughlin. Moore with the hit. That goes out of bounds. Smart play by Lauren Peasy. That's a risky play. 2 points away from defeat. Letting that go out of bounds, but she made the right call. Lauren Peasy, who sees a lot of volleyball, plays in the off-season as well. Probably one of the most well-qualified Lakers to make that call. Here's the serve from Alice McDonald. That's good. Over to McKenzie. That hit falls in. And at 14-10, Lakers have their backs against the wall. They need the next 4 points as the ball's on the hands of number 3, McKenzie. Score here, and she can win it for her girls. Service is up. Lauren Peasy gets that. Ava Grieve with the set. Riley DeMerchant's going to send it over, but McKenzie is there to Coughlin. Moore with the hit. Lauren Peasy up to Maddie Chisholm. Ava Grieve looks cross court. That's off the hands of McKenzie. Lakers are still in it. We've still got a game. 14-11 is your score. We hear a lot of energy from the crowd as they are loving this game. They got their money's worth, that's for sure. Here's Riley DeMerchant. She needs a 3-point run to tie things up. Coughlin to Blackney. Riley DeMerchant keeps it alive, but that's out of reach of her teammates. And with that, an extremely well-fought game by both sides. Excellent play, but ultimately it is the Hampton Huskies who come away with the victory, 3-2, winning the final one by a score of 15-11. We're going to send you over one last time to Joe and Charlie to close out tonight's broadcast.
The intensity on the floor, Charlie, you can feel it up in the skybox, man. Playing amazing on both ends. Hampton, of course, coming out with the victory, but, I mean, we'll let them have this one. Next time we'll see them in maybe regional sometime. Hopefully we'll win it. Well, not hopefully, we should win it, so. No, tough team. Big shout out to Hampton for sure for bringing the good sportsmanship. You also want to give shout outs to that and the competitiveness. You got to see it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we won't keep you too long, but quick shout out to officials, minor officials, our tech crew, commentating crew, everyone that stayed 2 games in a row to put this all together. It's a lot of commitment for us, and pretty proud of everything we can do for you guys. And once again, we'll see you later from the David McMullen Gymnasium. I'm Joe, and we'll see you later.